Hey there, today we're looking at the Buck Compadre knife. The Buck Compadre is part of the new line of camping and sort of outdoor knives from Buck. Series of knives. They have some similar features. They're red steel, red powder coated 5160 steel and diamond wood handles. It consists of this knife, a fro type machete or large blade, and then an axe. So the reason I got this knife is I was drawn to its appearance. The blade's lovely red colour there, very, very flash. I like the diamond wood handles. Diamond wood is a bit like my Carter but with wood leaf instead, so it's that resinous build, and it does have a fair weight to it in hand. So say you look at a micarta handle like on this SE3, it feels a lot lighter than this diamond wood, which is fine because there's nothing wrong with having a heavier handle. So of course as a result this knife is more handle heavy. I tested this knife with 3 different tests, and unfortunately the test couldn't go on as long as I would have liked because the knife has failed. I'll start on slicing. The knife was a good slicer. So the purpose of use for a knife like this is a camp knife. So it's for doing light campfire tasks and also food prep, things like that. Anything you need to use a knife for. So we've got a pretty good hollow ground blade. I'll just cut to some footage of me slicing up some fruit. I sliced up a rock melon with this knife, and it did pretty well. I took off the outer skin, and it did it slightly more difficultly than a purpose-made kitchen knife, which is good for a knife that is, you know, getting towards the thicker side. This is about 1/8 of an inch thick, and it's certainly not ideal for a cooking type task. Then I did some light wood splitting. Of course, a knife with a hollow grind like this, of this length, isn't due for splitting great big logs. And actually it did quite well with just splitting down a couple of bits of kindling, and it did quite well with carving as well. The blade comes very sharp. 5160 spring steel takes a fine edge, and it should be a very springy steel for batoning. I did notice when I was batoning some of the red powder coating was coming off. So it did well with the batoning and with the carving tests. However, I then tried to drop the knife from about maybe 1 foot, 2 feet from above the wood just into the log, just for one of those nice blade stick, and the blade hit the log and the tip bent straight off and broke. So yeah, for something that really could have been an accidental type occurrence, dropping a knife on its tip into wood, not into rock or into anything else, just kind of bounced into the wood and the tip just came straight off. So I don't know, a little bit disappointed. I thought it was never a particularly heavy tip, but it wasn't a pry test either. It was just I just dropped it downwards, so it kind of just bounced off and the tip got stuck and the rest of the knife just swung off, and yeah, there it is. I'll show you the video of it. I'll roll that in now of me doing it. Certainly not extreme knife use, so I guess this is a part where I put Buck's lifetime forever warranty to the test. So we'll see what they say. I would say that you should be able to drop your knife at least once without the tip completely coming off. I know there's things that's misfortune, you know, the butterfly effect, all that sort of thing, but a little bit bummed by that. Another sort of first day fail. Been happening to me a bit lately, and I purposely didn't push this through a huge nasty log or anything like that. I certainly just went actually fairly easy on it. This was just an initial test, so it's a shame that it ended this way. But there you go. So that's the Buck Compadre. If that tip hadn't broken off, I think it was shaping up to be a pretty good knife, like pretty happy with it. It's just and whether or not that's a fault or not, it is pretty thin. I would have liked to think that, and it's not a really, really heavy knife either, I would have liked to have thought that, you know, just dropping it wouldn't do that. And it wasn't thrown with any force, it was just dropped. So I was hoping the spring steel would be able to take it, but it didn't. So that's the Buck Compadre. What do you guys think? I'll try and get it to Buck and see what they say about the test, but a little bit disappointed at first, that's for sure, in the first instance. Everything else about it feels really nice. The handle has a good grip. The sheath is actually of rather good quality too. It's actually a fairly thick, nice leather, and I like the retention strap being a nylon strap. Just has a little bit of a different touch to it, and it feels kind of a bit of a modern touch to a pretty old style sheath. A bit of a thin leather belt loop. Obviously being a leather loop, it's sort of wide, but it's going to move around your belt a bit, but I think for this style of knife, it is good for just sort of not a aquatic knife. I wouldn't take this knife kayaking. I mean, I won't be taking it anyway now the tip's broken, but yeah, It's good for just walking around the woods with, I would suggest. Nice leather sheath, good for the price. I paid $110 for this knife, which is probably a bit on the pricey side, but this is Australia, so you think of that as about sort of $70 American from my American viewers, and see if you think the knife is worth that. 5160 steel, diamond wood handles, leather sheath. I think the equation is about right. It's not too bad. So yeah, that's the Buck Compadre. Bit of a unhappy ending on that one, unfortunately. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll keep you posted about how we go with Buck and see what they say about their warranty.